Have you ever felt that something inside you has been changing long before anyone else could see it? The title of this video may have caught your attention because a quiet part of your heart has been searching for direction rather than noise, and today, that feeling deserves a moment of honest reflection. There are seasons when growth is almost invisible. You wake up, follow the same routines, solve the same problems, and wonder why nothing seems different. Yet beneath those ordinary moments, your thinking begins to shift in ways that cannot be measured overnight. You become slower to chase quick rewards and more willing to learn from every experience. That quiet change matters because lasting success often begins with a transformed mindset rather than a larger bank account. If this message speaks to where you are today, stay with this, because the greatest changes often begin where no one is looking. Wisdom has a gentle way of replacing impulsive choices with thoughtful decisions, and little by little, you begin to notice that you are no longer impressed by appearances alone. You start asking better questions, listening more carefully, and protecting your peace instead of proving yourself to everyone around you. Those are not small changes. They are the habits that quietly reshape a person's future. Sometimes a spiritual message is less about predicting tomorrow and more about reminding you who you are becoming. Perhaps you have been learning patience through delays, gratitude through small victories, and resilience through moments that once felt disappointing. None of those experiences were wasted. Each one has been teaching you to recognize value where others only see speed. A truly wise person understands that opportunities are not created by luck alone, but by preparation meeting the right moment. There is something important here. You may have been measuring your progress by what you can see, while the deeper transformation has been taking place within your character all along. The confidence growing inside you is quieter now. It does not need constant approval because it is built on understanding instead of comparison. That kind of confidence cannot be borrowed, and it cannot easily be taken away. Imagine looking back 1 year from now and realizing that the greatest blessing was not a sudden breakthrough, but the person you became while moving toward your goals. You learned to think clearly when emotions were loud. You learned to pause before making important decisions. You learned that generosity and wisdom can walk together, and that real abundance begins with a heart that values integrity. This journey is not about chasing an image of success that fades with time. It is about becoming someone who can handle success with humility, purpose, and compassion. Don't miss what comes next, because the next part explores the quiet decisions that often separate temporary gains from lasting growth, and you may recognize some of those moments in your own life. There is a quiet moment that arrives in every person's life when they realize they no longer think the way they used to. It does not happen with loud celebrations or dramatic announcements. Instead, it appears in small daily choices that almost go unnoticed. You begin protecting your time more carefully, speaking with greater intention, and recognizing that every decision either builds your future or quietly delays it. The message on your heart today is not about becoming someone completely different. It is about discovering the wisdom that has been growing within you through every lesson, every disappointment, and every unexpected blessing. Stay with this, because what feels ordinary today may become the foundation of something extraordinary tomorrow. You may have noticed that certain distractions no longer hold the same power over you. The conversations that once pulled you away from your purpose now seem less important, while meaningful ideas capture your attention more than ever before. That is not an accident. Growth often begins when your focus changes before your circumstances do. A peaceful spirit naturally becomes more selective about where it invests energy, attention, and trust. Instead of asking how quickly you can reach your goals, you begin asking whether your path reflects your values. That simple shift creates a stronger future than any shortcut ever could. The people around you may not immediately understand why you have become calmer, more patient, or more thoughtful, but you do not need everyone to understand your journey in order for it to be meaningful. One of the greatest forms of wisdom is learning that true abundance is not only measured by what you receive, but also by how responsibly you manage what has already been placed in your hands. Every skill you improve, every healthy habit you strengthen, and every honest decision you make becomes another step toward a life built on stability instead of uncertainty. There is something important here. You do not need to rush to prove your worth, because lasting progress rarely announces itself in the beginning. It grows quietly until one day people wonder how everything changed, without realizing they are witnessing the result of countless faithful choices made when no one was watching. As this journey continues, allow yourself to appreciate how far you have already come. You are not standing where you once stood, even if the distance feels difficult to measure. Your perspective is changing, your patience is becoming stronger, and your ability to recognize meaningful opportunities is growing with each passing day. Continue moving with humility, gratitude, and steady confidence. The path ahead does not require perfection. It simply asks you to remain teachable, faithful in the small things, and willing to keep growing one wise decision at a time. In the next part, you will discover why quiet preparation often opens doors that loud ambition can never unlock. Not every meaningful change announces itself the moment it begins. Sometimes the clearest sign that your life is moving forward is the peace you now carry into situations that once filled you with doubt. You are beginning to understand that wisdom is not measured by how much you know, but by how well you apply what you have learned. That quiet confidence has been forming one decision at a time, and although others may only notice the results later, you have already felt the transformation within your own heart. Stay with this, because the next realization may explain why your perspective has changed so much in recent months. There was a time when you believed every opportunity deserved an immediate answer, but now you naturally pause before committing your energy. You have learned that not every open door leads to the right destination, and not every attractive offer deserves your attention. That growing sense of discernment is one of the greatest gifts you can develop. It protects your peace, strengthens your focus, and allows you to recognize opportunities that truly align with your purpose instead of chasing every passing distraction. The more you listen to that quiet inner wisdom, the more clearly you begin to see the difference between temporary excitement and lasting value. This is how thoughtful people continue growing, while others remain trapped in constant urgency. Many people believe success begins with having more resources, but lasting success often begins with greater responsibility. You have been learning to appreciate small victories instead of overlooking them, and that attitude changes everything. Gratitude sharpens your vision. Patience strengthens your judgment. Integrity builds trust that cannot be purchased. These qualities may not attract immediate attention, but they quietly shape the kind of life that remains steady through changing seasons. There is something important here. Every thoughtful choice you make today becomes part of a stronger foundation for tomorrow, even when the results are still hidden beneath the surface. As you continue walking this path, remember that becoming wiser is not about reaching a final destination where every answer is known. It is about remaining open to learning, growing, and refining your character with each new experience. Your journey is unfolding at its own meaningful pace, and there is no need to compare it with anyone else's story. The calm you are developing today will guide the decisions you make tomorrow, and those decisions will shape opportunities that truly fit who you are becoming. Keep moving with quiet faith, steady purpose, and an open heart, because the next part reveals how consistent character often creates possibilities that no amount of rushing could ever achieve. A remarkable truth often arrives so quietly that you almost miss it. One day you realize you no longer dream about success simply to impress others. Instead, you desire a life that reflects wisdom, peace, generosity, and purpose. That shift changes everything because your decisions begin flowing from clarity rather than pressure. You stop asking, "How can I get more?" and start asking, "How can I build something that lasts?" This is where genuine growth becomes visible, not through louder words, but through calmer choices that steadily shape your future. Stay with this, because this realization has the power to influence every step you take from here. Think about the moments when life slowed you down, even though you wanted to move faster. At the time, those pauses may have felt confusing, but now you can begin to see their value. They gave you room to develop patience, strengthen your judgment, and notice details that would have been overlooked in a hurry. A thoughtful person understands that every experience carries a lesson if the heart remains open to learning. The wisdom you are gaining today is helping you recognize the difference between chasing opportunities and preparing yourself to handle them well. That preparation is becoming one of your greatest strengths, quietly shaping the way you approach work, relationships, and every important decision. The more your perspective matures, the less you are controlled by comparison. Someone else's progress no longer diminishes your own because you understand that every journey unfolds at its proper pace. This freedom allows you to celebrate others while continuing to invest faithfully in your own path. There is something important here. The habits you practice when no one is watching often become the reason others admire your results later. Kindness, discipline, honesty, and consistency rarely receive instant applause, yet they create a foundation that remains strong through every season. These quiet qualities become part of your character, and character is one of the greatest treasures anyone can possess. As this message draws closer to its conclusion, take a moment to appreciate the person you are becoming. Your future is not defined by a single event, but by the steady collection of wise choices you make each day. Continue protecting your peace, nurturing your faith, and embracing every opportunity to learn with humility. The path ahead does not require you to have every answer today. It simply invites you to keep growing into the person you were created to be. Don't miss what comes next, because the final part brings all of these reflections together and leaves you with a quiet sense of purpose, hope, and lasting clarity.